do you smell that new league? This is awesome. I am loving the Viridian Wildwood. I am having a good time with this league. I am 4 hours and 6 deaths into this, and I've just gotten to Act 3. So to recap slightly, I was planning on doing Righteous Fire and blasting through the league and trying to get through as quickly as possible. But that all changed when they announced that the giant Transfigured gym changes and everything, so I was not going to be running Righteous Fire. I have switched over to Karn's version of the Slayer Bone Shatter Slayer build. So I want to follow this. I thought I tested out a Bone Shatter Jug build, but from what I understand, the Bone Shatter Jug, while it's tankier and everything, this one's supposed to be a lot better for damage and stuff like that. So I'm going to try this build out. So I'm kind of in this is where I'm at. I am currently sitting at level 28 and my gear is kind of trash. I did the little trade to get this, but I don't have a Regal Orb to bring it up and make it better. But there's a trade you can do with a sash and a whetstone, and you get the 58% increased physical damage. Like, this is a total hodgepodge of gear. It is what it is. But I wanted to get in and start playing. The very first problem I ran into is if I go into my stash tabs, they're just all kind of janky. And like, I had to spend, 20 minutes renaming and changing the colors colors and everything on the stash tab, reorganizing all that, making sure they're all in the right order and everything. So that was kind of a hassle. So, and then, do I not have my auto basher out here? So then I kind of got started and started playing. The build is so much different than Righteous Fire. I mean, the equipment and everything's kind of similar, but the skill gems you use are quite a bit different. I mean, obviously, but my point is, it's not, the build is so much different. The gearing is different. The stuff you're working on is different. The skill gems, where you get them from, everything is just so much different. Like in Righteous Fire, you start off as a witch and you try to get some stuff unlocked there. Here, you actually just start off and start playing, and actually a lot of the gems that you need come from quests. So I've actually been doing, and I got a rustic sash, that's the one you need. But I did get a rustic sash from one of the quests that I needed to do. Can I just move forward slightly? So I've actually been doing all the quests. I'm caught up to this. That's kind of why, setting up all my stash and everything, that took a while. Getting the gearing set up took a while. I'm kind of just randomly pressing buttons here while I'm chatting. Some of my stuff's dropping off. But, so a lot of things have just taken a while, and my initial rush to just get into the game and move as fast as possible, that's kind of taken a slight side turn. So I'm actually just kind of going slower and just trying to complete the game, trying to just play the game, I should say, not necessarily trying to motor through it and be done as soon as absolutely possible. So I do hope to get through the campaign by the end of this weekend. That is one goal that I do have, and I want to try to get there. So that's going to be an effort that I'm going to try to make happen. And from there, this Viridian stuff's been pretty awesome. I really dig this. I like this mechanic a lot. This is my favorite league so far. Now, granted, I only caught the tail end of Crucible, and I played all of Trial of the Ancestors, but I pretty much skipped all of the Ancestor League. I mean, I was playing all the other mechanics. I wasn't really doing anything that had anything to do with the league mechanic at all, up until pretty much the very end. So, kind of a different experience, like this is basically what I experienced with the race league we did with Sentinel and Lake of Calandra. All the stuff's in the league. I see why people really like things that are in the maps. The league mechanic is in the map. I really see why people like that now. This is pretty cool. Definitely having a blast with this. And I've died 6 times, and all but one of those has been in the Viridian place, I think. You know what? I take that back. I've had a couple of bogus deaths. So the Viridian place will kick your ass the first time you get into it. That is no joke. That place is tough. I do not regret diving into it because I thought it was really cool to go in and check out. And the more I explore it, like every time you start a new level, you basically get a chance to go into it. Like there's the entrance over there and here's the Viridian place. So you pretty much get a chance every time you load into a new level. I went the wrong way. But the more you play it, the more you try to, it's tough at first, but then it's actually very doable. And I've really enjoyed what I've played. I actually have one of the ascendancies unlocked. The only one I've gotten so far is this Warlock one. I'm pissed. So we've had crashes, right? And I got this one and I set it up and I thought, well, this isn't the one I want, but I remember GGG saying that we could actually switch between them with no problem. So I was like, okay, cool. So I ended up selecting this one. I thought, well, I can just select a different one. And then I did find the one I wanted. I want the one with the tinctures. For this build, I think the tincture one would be good because it's going to up the weapon damage. So I want to see how that one goes. So I got this one. I got the Warlock one last night. I got in there, found it, and I'm like, all right, cool. So I take that and I played for like an hour or so. I don't know, something like that. I played for quite a while. And next thing you know, I find the other one. Like I'm in the chat with the chick. I think it's a chick that you talk to. And she was the Magi one, which is the tincture one. I think it's the Magi one. And I was all set to get it and everything. I'm at the screen, ready to select it. Goddamn game crashes on me. Right in the middle of it. Like I couldn't even complete it to take that ascendancy. I was pissed. I'm like, you know what? This sucks because this is totally not how I wanted that to go. I mean, it is what it is. I'll get it eventually. I was on the verge. I had it. I had it, but it wasn't quite there. So, yeah, that kind of sucks. Eventually, we'll get back to that one. This one seems cool. The ascendancy portion that I took has this, whatever this thing is, pacify on it. It's supposed to make it to where when it ticks down, these things can't hurt you. Now, I don't know if that means they permanently can't hurt you or just can't hurt you for a brief moment afterwards. I have to read up about it. But that was the one thing that sounded like it was kind of useful for this build. So for one, if you can change the ascendancies easily, I thought that would be the way to do it because I can just swap this out. And for two, I totally forgot where I was going with it, but this one actually, it was right there. Because you could change it, and because this one was the one that I could have and it was there, I thought, all right, I'll switch it out. So I took this Creeping Lobotomy, which is Pacify curses all targets in an area having no effect at first, but causing them to deal no damage once 60% of the curse duration has expired. So I thought that was pretty cool. Again, I'm not sure if that's like permanent or not. Now, Foul Pact, enemies pacified by you take 20% increased damage. This is probably going to be cool. Phantasms from Penance Mark, but see, I'm not going to be using Penance Mark, I don't think, so I'll have to see. I'm not sure what all is in this build, but I don't know if I'll take that further. This one here, Dark Effigy, I'm not sure I want to take this at all. Then there's the Ravenous one, which, the monster category, this one might be kind of cool, I'm not sure. But then we've got Sanguimancy, skills cost life instead of mana. This, I'm not sure about this. So, at one point, I did talk about doing a second character, and I have that second character. I've been wanting to play a Scion. I'm going to go into this one later, but I do have a Scion. It's a Exsanguinates Scion's build, and I'm thinking this one would be good because Exsanguinate's all blood magic kind of thing, and this is like skills cost life instead of mana. So I think this might actually mesh into that fairly well. So this one would probably be good for that Scion build, I think. I'm not sure. I actually did a test run of the Bone Shatter Juggernaut all the way up into the mapping section. It was at the very end of last league, so I didn't really get a chance to play it a ton, but I did get into mapping, and then once we lost the ability to actually play the last league, and we had just days in Standard, I tinkered around in Standard for a little bit, and just to see how that went. And it was fairly good, but that was the jug version. Am I going the wrong way? Well, that's a giant mess. We went the wrong way again. I guess I got to go this way. Where was I? So I did test that, and then here in the last few days, I did test the Scion version, or not the Scion version, but the Scion build that I was going to do. I did get that one up to, I don't know, somewhere in where I'm at now, Act 2, 3. I was kind of just playing it casual to see how it went. That build, whoever built that, they did a lot of things. It's a nice build. I'm going to go over that POB whenever I do that one, because that POB is one of the finest POBs I've ever seen. The guy tells you which quest and things to do and which go here, do this quest, take this option. Like, it's a total new player experience, but it's a Scion build, so like it's not necessarily a new player build, but I love the way the guy did it. This one, the Karn's build here, so originally I was going to do Tripolar Bear's build, but I don't think he had updated his POB yet, because the one I had was for an older league, and it was the Jug build, and then I saw Zizaran do a video about Karn's version, and I thought, you know what, that seems like the one I want to play. And I grabbed the POB, checked it out. It's very well documented, like it's way better documented. I shouldn't say way better, but not like as a negative, but there's so much more into it, go here, pick this, that kind of thing. So that's another reason why I've been kind of going a little bit slower on this playthrough, is because I'm following the build guide. You got to read a whole bunch of different things. And that was one of the mistakes I made with Pox's guide, is instead of reading the damn guide like I was supposed to, I mostly used it for the passive tree and then followed up on the gear later. So now I know how important it is to follow the gearing portion as well. And I know, I get it. It's like understood, but sometimes things are a little more nuanced, or you take for granted that, well, I'll just find the gear. You know what I mean? Like I guess I didn't I didn't fully appreciate how the gear worked in this game at the time when I was going through Righteous Fire the first time, and now I do. So now I'm taking the time to actually sit down and learn it, learn how the build goes. So again, that's why I've been really taking this one a lot slower, and I haven't been in a super big hurry. So I'm happy with the way things are going. I'm really enjoying this. And then the other thing I've got going is I have a new item filter. So there's a channel I follow named ItFightsBack, and he's actually the reason why I started playing SSF. I started watching his channel, and he's been playing SSF for quite a while, and he's pretty successful at it, if you ask me. I've seen him do some really cool stuff. Like, he had a lot of different builds last league, and a lot of different a lot of different classes built, a lot of different attempts at things, and I thought it was really cool. Well, he also came out with a 2-hour video of loot filters, how he sets up his loot filter, and he showed a whole bunch of demonstrations. I'm going to link it in this video, and he had the option of joining his Discord to get a copy of that filter. So the original filter that I was going to do is Wrecker's filter from, this may not end well, was Wrecker's filter from the actual Path of Exile website. So his filter, the Wrecker's one, is one you can subscribe to, and it just updates it. The problem is, he's got a lot of weird colors to it, and I just wasn't really into the colors scheme and everything. I liked some of the aspects that Pox did in his, like he actually had red maps showed up red on the map. I thought that was a really nice touch to it. Yellow maps showed up yellow, white maps showed up white, so you kind of knew what you were grabbing when you grabbed it. And I liked how a lot of that was set up. So then I tried the Wrecker's SSF filter. This was one supposedly built for SSF, and it worked, it seems fairly nice. I can't really complain all that much about it. But we are not doing a lot of single target, are we? Oh, life regen, that's why. So, is he dead already? Nope, he just hid. All right, you take a little bit of that, some of that. Give me one of those again. But anyway, getting back to this whole item filter thing. There's a lot of things that I've liked. I've kind of been wanting to do my own filter, but I don't want to log on to Filter Blade and have to do some big, long process. The Filter Blade thing seems awkward. I know you can actually get in and modify the filter yourself, and it's just a text file, so it's not really complicated. Is my thing out? Yeah, it's hard to see if the auto whacker's out. So, like, for instance, if I switch this over to, what do we got? Game. If I switch this over to Wrecker's filter here and reload this, all the currency comes in pink, and this stuff starts coming in weird colors. Like, I think these are just blue items, and these are rare. So he's got them colored like the white items are white. That's not a bad scheme. I don't hate that. But if I do Pox's filter, reload that, it's going to crash my game. Nope. I kind of like the way he's got this stuff set up, but then he hides certain things. And then I got this other filter from... okay, it's not going to save it. or it's changed it. Then I got this other filter from ItFightsBack, and this one I can actually customize because it's not a one you subscribe to. And I know I could customize some of the other ones somehow, but I like this one because he did the video he did is phenomenal. He's got just a massive amount of, I mean, it's a long video. There's a good hour of nothing but the learning how to do the build guide itself. And then the second hour is like how he updates it, or is how he updated it for this league. But the takeaway I got from it was that I now have a good filter, and I'm not saying the other filters are bad. That's like the bad word. That's not good wording. But what I have is a good base filter that I can actually sit down and update and make my own. There were things I liked about Pox's filter, and there were things I liked about the other filter that I've tried, other filters, because I've actually tried several. I went on a big trial run in this last league. I tried a whole bunch of different filters out, subscribed to a bunch of them. The never sync one's okay, but there's certain things I don't want to see. A lot of people hide the wisdom scrolls. I do want to see those, or they'll stop and start hiding or they'll stop showing the portal scrolls at some point. Like, I still want to see those. Like, I picked those up off the ground so I don't have to, remember to pick them up in my stash. But you can't modify theirs because it's like something you subscribe to. And I mean, that's fine if you just want to follow their filter. That's cool. There's no real, there's nothing wrong with it. I do prefer to have things built for myself. And that's why I'm playing SSF. I want to do this myself. I don't want to play somebody else's gear that they build. I want to build the gear. That's my play style. So building my own filter or modifying something for myself is, that's just the way I go. Builds I don't necessarily care about because that's a lot. Someday I might try my hand at a build, but like that's way beyond anything I want to get into at this moment. I just no interest in it. But point being, I love the concept of what ItFightsBack has. So I'm going to take his filter and I'm going to modify it. I need to actually sit down today, and that's another reason I'm going to have a lot of playtime on this account, on this character before I get far, is because when I get done with this video, I'm probably going to sit down for a little while and adjust some of that filter, because there's certain things that I don't like the way it shows, and I want to get that changed and figure some of that out so that I have fewer pain points as I go forward. Like, I love the fact that uniques drop on other filters that I've seen. When a unique drops, it's the same color as uniques. I like that, how the presentation shows that it's a unique item. And I think ItFightsBack has it dropping as like a green or something, and I don't really like the green color. I want to see it more of the same color as the unique. He's got a lot of other cool stuff, like if you drop essence, they come in as the same color as the essence, which I think is awesome. That's a great way to do it. But there's some things he's got clumped together that I don't necessarily want clumped together, which is the whole point of being able to modify your own filter. So this is not like a negative or anything like that. This is just straight up takeaway that you can actually grab somebody else's filter and totally revamp it for yourself. So I'm going to spend some time with that and get that done. Oh, you can watch me suck at these ascendancy things. These aren't bad. I don't mind these. It's the long ascendancy ones I'm not a fan of. And the thing I really don't like about the ascendancy place is the damn, well, there's none in here. Those gears and stuff that like roll over you and you gotta dodge and everything. I hate that. That's like the big thing. Molten floors are one thing, but all the stuff you gotta dodge, I hate that. I'm not a fan. I should be getting up to ready to do an ascendancy trial here soon. But got a lot of work cut out for me because I am going to work on that loot filter, and he's got like 4 different versions of it. I assume he's got like 1, 2, 3, and 4. I presume those are for as he gets further into the game, he's got different things to look for, and he's got a real intricate system on it. I may pare that down quite a bit because I don't necessarily care. And he's got a massively intricate system, I should say. I mean, it's really well done. I like what he's got, and I'm looking forward to messing with it. What I don't like is having to start from absolute scratch. Like, unless I have an absolutely no choice, I like to take somebody else's work and start with it. But I deal with like PowerShell and stuff at work, and it's much easier to just take somebody else's stuff and start modifying it than it is to have to do that from scratch. I could probably learn all that, but There's just so much to learn, so much to do. It's totally easier to just steal somebody else's work. So anyway, I guess you're going to see the piety fight. Let's see how this goes. So that's how my league's going. I am having a blast. I really like this league a lot. There is a lot to love here. Probably got crap resistances too. Is my thing not out here? This guy's a little thicker. Target him down real fast here. I wasn't having too many issues. I had a lot of issues with mana early on. Is this the lightning guy? No, that's her. You die. Keep moving this thing around. So she's taking like no damage. I have no health. Alright. Chase you down with this thing. This fight's going slow. Oh, and she runs around too. Come on, cast this thing. Does it take the one off and put this other one on? Oh, right, because this is a curse and that's a curse, I guess. That must be. I don't know if I have enough mana regen. I don't have enough life regen for sure. Definitely not doing enough damage. I am not in the, oh, come on, cast it. Man. Oh, she finally ran off. Yeah, I'm obviously not, I need to work on this a little bit. So one thing I have been doing is, like, I would play through a bunch, I would keep going for a while before I came back to town. So I made a big change, I don't know, mid-act 2, and upgraded a lot of my gear and got more skills attached. There was a while where I was just running the spectral throw skill for a long time. Like, that was the only thing I'd had. I didn't have any of the curses. Then I added ancestral protector at some point and forgot I had it. But there was a long time I didn't have poacher's mark, leap slam, frost blink, none of that. I was just walking through, just kept plowing forward. I wasn't coming back to town. Oh, I like that chain. That's pretty cool. But I kept coming back to, or I kept just pushing on instead of coming back to town and doing anything. So it's probably time to tune the class to build up a little bit. But anyway, that is where we are from day one. This is actually day, well, it's probably still 24 hours into day one, but do I need anything on here? Probably Grace. I think I need Grace out of this. I'll come back to her in a second. But that is where we are on day one. This is going to be a very good league. I am very excited for this. The core packs came out. Fortunately, we have a year to buy them because I really like those, and I'm not. We got Christmas coming up. I can't really swing that right now, but I am going to get that core pack at some point. Those look awesome. But anyway, that's totally beside the point. I thought it was kind of strange that they don't have a league pack this time. Whatever, don't care, I guess. But that will do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.